Hey guys, Demon Hunter here. Hope all is well. Hey, I just wanted to go ahead and share a video I did, I guess, last week, and wanted to get it uploaded to you guys in terms of the simulation, live augmented virtual reality they're creating up there, and there being structures, and DOME Atlantis is, atop the Sky Dome, and I'm going to break down one of Donnie's awesome videos, and so you guys enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon. Of the orb flying into the moon and some amazing footage. And if you guys aren't subbed to Donnie, you're missing out. I'm going to leave his link in the description to his channel, and make sure you guys go over there and sub. He's got probably the best drone footage I've seen around, and his photography is just amazing. So anyway, let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this video, and we're going to be seeing some moon pics, and then Donnie pointing out an orb. And when I was watching it, the spirit told me to keep my eye on the left-hand quadrant of the moon, and in doing so, I came across what looked to be a machine and tracks, and we're going to go ahead and visit that. And let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this here.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Donnie here.
Okay, so here it comes. So here's the moon, okay, and the Lord is telling me to keep my eyes on the left-hand quadrant of the moon, or of the screen here. In particular, right here is when I found the object. So we'll keep going. And sorry, guys, let you guys see the awesome moon pics here. And I'll leave the link to this video. Just amazing footage of the hologram moon. So here's the orb entering now. Okay. What looks to be the moon surface, but where does it go? There it is, right there. Boom. Here it comes. Looks like a square object, perhaps. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going into the moon. Here Donnie tries to do some filters. You can see the object. It looks like a cube shape. It looks like it's putting some landing gear down right there. Huh. Just notice that. See that? No landing gear. Whoop. No landing gear, landing gear. So yeah, so here comes the orb. Oh, that looks like an object there too. Heck yeah. Right there on the left hand quadrant. All up in there, right underneath that orb. That looks like an object to me in there. I'll have to break that down later. And down there. Huh. Alright, so boom. So if we go back here though, this orb, guys, is coming from a machine. Right. There comes the orb. And there's the machine right up there. See it? And that's what we're going to break down. That there machine that scales all the way to the right, all the way to the left, down. And I'm going to go ahead and show you my findings, and then see if we can figure this out. If it's like a projection system shooting a hologram moon, or if it's a toll booth for demons to come into this earthly realm. Just kidding. But yeah, it's right there. You can clearly see it. So let's go ahead and check out some of these pics here. Sorry. There's one, but here we go. And this is when we'll start to see it. But this object comes all the way down here. There's something going on right down there. It looks like an alternator. And then over here, clearly a structure. It looks like it's, and we'll see it better in some other ones here. That's the original pic. That's the structure up there. This is the orb flying into the moon with its landing gear. And then here is structure right there, tech. And there's actually a huge, what looks to be a pulley or a track system and then it comes all the way down here. It seems to be on a different light spectrum, or it's just all graphene and we can't see it. You know, they're bending the light, but there's a machine, and I'll try and show it to you right there. Comes down all in here. Okay, and that looks like even something right in there in the center. Meanwhile, in this right here, you can kind of see the walls and what looks like a circular thing, wheel, and we'll get them clearer. And then it seems to go around here, that being a track. And then this is a huge ship or something going on there. Now, here we have it, the structure. Okay, here you can see clearly what looks to be some form of structure bleeding through. And then there is your pulley or something. Something looks to be building out. This even looks like a cube or something shaped in there. And whether that's in the horizon or what, or if that's just the massive machine that's up there. You know? And here's the track. And we'll keep going. There it is. There you can kind of see it bleeding through there. Circular object right there. Okay. And of course you got to see that demon face or something going on there. But, and then this is the main object that we're focusing on. Looks like there's something going on all the way over there. Right there, going down here, going down here. See it in there? And that's something going on like a huge massive turbine or alternator. And then it looks like some form of track over there. Right there, going around, hooking up to this up here. See it in there? Looks like a track or something. And then down here, something. But if we say, you know, nah, we can't say nah to that. I mean, that's clearly an object up there. But I think the whole thing's a structure. You can see it kind of there bleeding through. This definitely. And, you know, it's hard to say what we're dealing with here anymore. You know, what's real, what's fake, what's utility fog, you know, what's virtual reality, what's actually physical structures. We know that there's track systems up there. We know that there's a city up there. And we know that there's grids that have been placed out. It seems an artificial sky canopy with an invisible grid. Some people are catching the grid, which I believe is just like, if you think of it in terms of a Samsung telephone that bends with the bending glass, but it's got the whole computer grid and computer grid specs behind the glass. You know, just kind of think in terms of your iPad or your TV. You know how it acts as gates and portals, and then all of a sudden you got all these demons manifesting through these electronical, you know, components, just like in your TV. You know, whether it's not watching pornography or watching these videos, they open gateways and portals. But on a larger scale, if we're looking at the sky, and that's a huge TV screen now with a huge, massive grid set up. You know, ionized sky where these demons can manifest, and they're being shown coming through the chemtrails, making them visible. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out, and I'm creating a video on that. But again, we just got to, number one, find out how can this be a globe Earth model when we're dealing with all this smart dust. How is it being contained? You know, to me, Mars and everything they're pushing in NASA, Mars, and, you know, all the nonsense. But to me, I think if anything, Mars can be the moon, referring to the moon. And I could see them totally playing it out where they radiate the planet, and they're gonna say, yeah, we got a place on Mars that we want to take everybody, but we just don't have enough room, so we've got lifeboats with these cryogenic chambers, and we got to put you in there, but instead they'll take you to the moon and you'll be devoured by a bunch of demons. And it's, it reminds me, I think there was a movie out there, the Maze, something like that, The Maze with the kids, and they're like, nah man, don't go in them chambers, don't go. I mean, there's a lot of movies, tricking you, saying that they're going to be taking you somewhere good and they're taking you to be eaten. But anyway, that's just how I see it happening. And I just don't think for 1 second that, there's a virtual reality going on up there. So again, we can't really take anything for granted, what we're seeing up there. And at the same time, in order to do that, there's got to be a huge Hollywood production up there. So again, if Nibiru's coming in, how are they going to build this whole thing up there when they think if they knew that a huge, massive planet was coming inbound and all its company against sediment was going to knock it out of the sky? It just doesn't make sense. And then all this smart dust, how is it being contained? How come it's not flying off the spinning globe Earth model? With the weakening magnetic field, that's not containing it. So somebody answer that for me. Because, all these chemtrails that they've been spraying for years and years now, and why is that stuff just not flying off? And why do you hear planes? Why doesn't that sound just go off into outer space where you wouldn't hear it, but instead it bounces off the dome, and that's why we hear all these planes up there? I don't know. That's just my train of thought, That's just how I'm seeing things. But anyway, we'll go ahead and look at a couple more here. And again, clearly something going on up there, whether it's the Death Star, whether it's going to be, the hologram, AI, introduction of Planet Nibiru, Planet X, and they're just going to throw up another hologram up there for everybody to see. Meanwhile, create this false alien invasion with this virtual reality they've created up there with all their directed energy weapons. Meanwhile, you got all these demons flooding in through all these gateways, portals, and, they know what they're doing. But it's clearly that this is all interdimensional. It's not, it's not outer space. It's just not outer space, guys. I'm telling you. That's that's based off my research and my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. I tried to share as much knowledge as I've attained and retained in order to share it with you guys, trying to prove, my thought process here and why I believe we live within a dome, an enclosed structure, and that this stuff's all interdimensional. Now what? I'm just going to show you something real quick here. Let's just do this real quick. Kind of knock this out in the park. So you got this, right? You got the dome. This is the Freemasonic, esoteric artwork, okay? You got the dome. You got Lucifer the false light bearer, the AI, okay? The Prince of the Air. And you got the UFOs, anti-gravity craft within the dome. Okay, meanwhile, you got the Eye of Lucifer, okay, with its false luminescence, the sun simulator, okay, Lucifer the false light bearer. Meanwhile, you see these tracks here, guys, that are hidden? There's tracks all around the sun on this artwork that is being shown here in the machine, okay, just like Pink Floyd The Wall, okay, but you see that's a track. There's tracks, and I'm going to prove this to you. Another reason for you guys to seriously contemplate the fact that we live within an enclosed system. But here again, those are the tracks that they clearly got imprints of some type of structures, rollers, on these light rays, beams of light allegedly coming out that I've been continuing to show you in various different footages in areas of the planet. So same thing here, guys. This is Capitol Hill, all the pentagrams, your sun simulator with the different tracks going out that is hidden in this artwork. Okay? Lucifer the false light bearer, sun simulator with its false luminescence. Meanwhile, you got the World Trade Centers, the two becoming the one, the enmity taking over, the 88s, the two dimensions colliding, Satan's kingdom bleeding in with ours, the fiery phoenix, with all these people living atop the dome with a bunch of demons. Okay? There's a little bit better. You can see these structures coming on out from the sun. Now, in here, again, all these different cultures believe we live within the enclosed system. The only ones pushing the ball Earth is NASA. Okay? And meanwhile, the Freemasons believe we live also in an enclosed system. Now, again, they're telling you the track system's all up there. Okay? The storm track. They've got entire track systems up there. The UN. This taken with Ada's parabolic dish. You could see all the different tracks coming out of the sun. Okay? The false sun. The dark sun. You can see the big device up there. This here, two F-16s flying by the sun. You see the tracks bleeding out from the false sun, the dark sun. Lucifer the false light bearer is what I would summarize this as. Just like on their free Masonic artwork, guys. Okay? Now, if we go a little bit further, and again, you got the Vatican, everybody says it's a sundial, but you turn it upside down, you got Osiris penis going through the toroidal field of Earth, vacuum sending God's natural Earth frequency, meanwhile a whole city up there. Track system, just like on the UN maps. Meanwhile, there's a dome with a snake and a serpent at the Vatican that Jonathan Kleck's broken down. Under the dome. Toroidal field. Dark sun, like a tetherball. So I'm seeing it's something like that, guys. Something like that. Vacuum sewing God's natural Earth frequency. Sky Dome Atlantis connected to the smart dusk in the space fence, which goes all the way in our homes, which is even in our bodies now. Okay? It's connected to the 5G towers. I got 300 copper spoke wheels underground, aimed at altering God's natural Earth frequency. Satan looked to set his kingdom up in the hearts of man where God currently dwells, replacing God. God does not dwell in a machine. He dwells in the hearts of man. So Satan's looking to set up his technocracy-based kingdom, inverting and polluting everything of God. Okay? But this is all going to be coming crashing down. And this is it. Underneath the hologram canopy feed, the ISS canopy feed. I've shown it over and over before. These are all ISS running across the track system up there, and they're shooting out a holographic canopy feed concealing the whole track system and Hollywood production they got underneath. But if we continue to go on, and at the Vatican or at the UN, they're telling you the whole thing. Sky Dome Atlantis. They got the inverted cross, the Tesla Tower, vacuum sewing God's natural Earth frequency. Osiris's penis. And we've caught it in the Ada's parabolic dishes, sled ride, Tower of Babel, riding, a huge, massive city surrounding the sun, and all these simulators and transparent graphene track systems up there. That planet Nibiru is just going to come and knock out of the sky? Or is it going to be simulated? Because that's what Satan is, a liar, a deceiver. A simulator on a track system. There it is again. The entire sun, dark sun, is encapsulated by a huge machine with track systems that go north, south, east, west. Yep. And north being, Michelle told me, is up. This is north. And again, I've shown it over to you before, but there's the chain, there's the track system, sun simulator, there's the turbines propelling this thing up and down the tracks, there's pulleys and wheels and cogs and pistons pulling it. This is a platform that rides with it, okay, concealing it when you're looking up. Meanwhile, they got huge production, Hollywood production up there, and they're telling you in all the Olympics, Polyon capping the dome. Polyon, over the fiery serpent, capping the dome. Lord of the Rings, Elysium style base up there. Structures all up there. Pan, the horn god. Okay, you got the phoenix up there, the fiery phoenix. You got Atlas, Atlantis, and you got the Tesla Tower powering Sky Dome Atlantis, with Pan, the horn god, capping the dome. The fiery phoenix. And there it is again. Now, again, they're showing it in all the Freemasonic artwork, esoteric artwork, UN, flat earth math, Tesla Tower, the dome, transhumanism agenda. Meanwhile, you got Baphomet, Lucifer the false light bearer, with his dome, in the serpent cutting off God's natural earth frequency, the tree of life. This being like the New Year's Eve ball, likely. Showing this whole event. Meanwhile, we've got, this is what I was talking about. It's like there's a grid pattern that is it's just crazy. That can like manifest anything out of just like, probably a push of a button, and they can retract it within a push of a button. All these claytronics, programmable matter, everything done through the smart dust. A huge Hollywood production, but it's got a live and demonic component to it. This is Donnie, where we caught a whole scaffolding system up there, graphene. There's a pulley hidden. Yep. Scaffolding system. Halo on a track system. A sundog. It's on a machine. And this is what I'm talking about. What it's capable of doing, I would believe. This pulling the platform across the sky, but it's all mysticism, all programmable matter, black magic, sorcery, at the utility fog. At the same time, it can build itself out and self-replicate, just like a transformer, and then, retract. This is not a chemtrail. It's a cable going into a caliper, and it's pulling this track across the sky, which I believe is housing Skynet, or housing the D-Wave computer AI, Satan consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Right here, the big cube. God's got his cube, and Satan, the inverted and polluted and twisted inversion, Sky Dome Atlantis. Big machine around the sun. the dark sun. And we've gone through that. I don't want to go through too much, but I do want to. I did. This is what I. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, well, this is the White Rabbit. Okay, this is the quantum mainframe that they've got going on at CERN, creating. Okay, the main features of the White Rabbit network are sub-nanosecond accuracy and picoseconds precision of synchronization, connecting thousands of nodes. All these lights and nodes up there, part of this whole grid pattern. You know, connecting it all together, ran by the AI. Okay, this is the White Rabbit, and I don't want to play this video right now, but that's the mission Impossible when they're talking about the rabbit's foot. And maybe we'll play that. I'll include it at the end because I don't want to screw this video up. But and then this is when we go through and you're going to start seeing the grid pattern in there, which I believe is, you know, this just crazy AI. You know, like glass canopy that's all digitalized and computerized and just can manifest stuff out of it. You kind of see it here that I tried to draw, but you can kind of see it forming right in here. And we've got a lot more pics of the grid that everybody's catching up there. But this is the main thing. If you looking through the grid and through the hidden veil that they've got up there, you got Lucifer the false light bearer, the wall, the spirit of Pink Floyd, talking about all these different light spectrums and bending light. Meanwhile, you got Lucifer the false light bearer over there with the lights all signifying like tracks that are coming out from the sun. And you got the Borg, again, the cube that's up there on the platform. Borg microcube, become assimilated. 666 micro computer starting at $399. So yeah, it's all about singularity and getting everybody plugged in the one hive mind. Meanwhile, you've got, you know, the cubes and everything. The cubes and everything. You know, it's the black cube of Saturn. There's Satan's black cube. Saturn, Satan. And that's his cube. So think in terms of become assimilated, the Borg, the D-Wave computer, Skynet. And these are all the buildings and structures that are up there that Ada caught with her parabolic dish technique. And it just looks like in the Matrix, that hidden city that's up there with the dark sun. And meanwhile, these are the grid patterns that people are catching. And there looks to be a face in this one, which would make me even think in terms of, I could literally see the image of the beast of AI coming out like that. You could kind of see its eye in there, and it looks like an alien face that's just going to come up on this big screen of digital matter. I try to pull it out here a little bit. It's like a skull. Something like we saw in Star Wars, huh? Could that be the image of the beast that's coming? I wonder. But we touched on these. I mean, this is OGBWA 27, who caught what looks like a Dyson sphere around the sun. It looks like a machine. I mean, this looks like a machine. I saw it right away. I was like, that's a machine around that thing. But, you know, you guys can say what you will. And then Paper Thin Veil caught what looks to be Lord of the Rings around the sun. It's like they've brought Saturn, Satan, here within the earthly realm. They've created it with all the rings around the dark sun. It's got all these just different like tracks and structures in there. You can see it kind of in there. And these are all rings. And with diodes, it seems. And you can see it right here, these green diodes that people think are sundogs. You can see what looks like two little holes there. Well, and you can see the machine there. And if you look here, you caught this one of the diodes up there. And this is, like I would say, is the tracks being concealed with chemtrails and all that. And then here it is again. And then you've got Asgardia, their space kingdom, which is they're claiming to be in low Earth orbit. Okay, showing you the dome with this sun simulator at the top. This is, they're showing you the Eye of Ra, with the flower of life. That's actually 666. And it's a CPU, become assimilated. This, in all low Earth orbit, they say it themselves. This is pretty wild. There's something clearly going on right there. Meanwhile, you got everything around the sun machine. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. And I've told you before, the Lord's pressed on my heart. It's like a chandelier. And up there. And within the dome with a bunch of people living up there. And this is in Paris. It was actually created by a Freemason, Marc Chagall, who's done works at the UN. And he's a Jewish artist, and he was initiated into Freemasonry in 1912. So I found that of interest. And then again, these are pictures that I pulled from Donnie's vids before, showing the machine all around the sun. It's like a tower. All up there. The dark sun. Looks like it's even riding along a track. So yeah. But I didn't expect this to be that long, but I think it's important that everybody gets the gist of it. You can see these graphene structures and railways and tracks that are hidden. They're bending the light, and they're using graphene, which is transparent, I believe. Well, I know it is, but I believe that's what they're using. You can see like a structure right in there. But again, it's just like you got to, what's what up there? What is truly what? What's real, what's not? Because they're definitely using utility fog, and they're definitely creating, images up there that are clearly virtual reality, live augmented virtual reality. I would say used with foglets and utility fog, but at the same time, they got demons that are bleeding in through these gateways and portals. The chemtrails, I believe, are with the black goo in them, are acting as gateways and portals. And then when you got that layered on top of this, what looks like a digital grid, it seems these demons are going right through the digital grid, or right through the digital grid into the chemtrails, or something like that. I don't know. It's just like a portal. But yeah, different machines up there. But yeah, okay, we'll leave it at that. But and this is a boogeyman catching the grid. But all right, you guys have a mighty blessed one. Stay armored up. Know that Jesus loves you. And thanks a lot, Donnie, for allowing me to continue to use your pics and your videos. I really appreciate it. And you have a blessed one, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. All right, you guys take care.
you got?
Well, these hard drive platters are just fried, you know. They're just like, they made a mess of them. It's just like holes in them and stuff, and it's got scorched all the way through. And then there's look, this one's got a hole in it and stuff. I can't believe it. I can't even look at it.
Did you recover anything?
Yes. Despite the aforementioned conditions of the hard drive you brought back,
I managed to recover portions of 24 email files. Also made what I believe to be a thoroughly promotion-worthy breakthrough. Well, Mr. Davian is going to arrive in Rome the day after tomorrow and attend a function at One Vatican City.
What the hell was Davian doing at the Vatican?
It's all got to do with the rabbit's foot.
Rabbit's foot.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it's like a code word for something he's about to sell to an unspecified buyer for $850 million, by the way. Or maybe it's not a code word, maybe it's just a really, really expensive bunny appendage.
You have no idea what it is?
It's interesting. I used to have this professor at Oxford, okay, Dr. Wickham. His name was, he was like this massive fat guy, you know, huge big guy. We used to call him, you know, well, I won't tell what we used to call him, but he taught biomolecular kinetics and cellular dynamics. And he used to sort of scare the underclassmen with this story about how the world would eventually be eviscerated by technology. You see, it was inevitable that a compound would be created, which he referred to as the anti-God. It was like an accelerated mutator, a sort of, you know, like an unstoppable force of destructive power that would just lay waste to everything, to buildings and parks and streets and children and ice cream parlors, you know? So whenever I see like a rogue organization willing to spend this amount of money on a mystery tech, I always assume it's the anti-God. End of the world kind of stuff, you know?